Andrew DiStefano. I'm the chaplain of the Brewster VFW Post 672, and I'm also a retired New York City police captain. And on behalf of the Brewster Veteran of Foreign Wars and the Brewster Fire Department, I'd like to thank you for joining us this morning to reflect on the 23rd anniversary of the 9/11 attacks against the World Trade Center, against the Pentagon, against United Flight 93, and indeed against our entire nation. So at this time, we're going to, as always, we're going to open up with the Pledge of Allegiance. I'm going to ask Brewster firefighter Regan if he can please lead us in that pledge.
Color guard, attention, forward, march.
To the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Color guard, fall out.
Color guard, thank you, and Officer Regan, thank you. At this time, as the Brewster VFW chaplain, I'm going to proceed with the opening prayer. I do want to note that I wrote these words many years ago, as I recalled my experiences as a then lieutenant with the NYPD. As I was notified that morning, Andy, there's been a plane crash in Lower Manhattan. We have to go down. There's been a level 4 mobilization called. We need you to come. My experiences in seeing the buildings on fire, watching 400 people basically jump to their death, and then ultimately seeing the towers come down. We please bow our heads. Dear Lord, as we remember the evils of September 11th, let us turn our hearts and minds towards the good found only in you. Be close to those who mourn, the parents who lost children, the children who never knew a parent, and all who lost a loved one. Embrace this grieving nation, and let time never lessen the impact that we may never forget. Protect those who go in harm's way to save others. Protect those who suffer and die to safeguard our nation. Give wisdom to our leaders that they make choices that prevent another day such as this. Let your love rain down upon us. Let your peace flourish on our earth. Amen. You know, in that prayer, I just asked you to reflect on 3 lines. Protect those who go in harm's way. Cops and firefighters, right? Protect those who suffer and die to safeguard our nation. Our military who fought the 20-year war on terror. And give wisdom to our leaders, our elected officials, that they make choices that prevent another day such as this. That, and nothing else, is their most sacred responsibility. So given this is a September 11th reflection, it's appropriate to have a representative of the fire service to speak on their behalf. So at this time, I'm going to ask Commissioner of the Brewster Fire Department, Jerry Schrammick, to please come up. Chief.
Thank you, Andy. Anybody wants to sit down, please be my guest. Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of the Brewster Southeast Joint Fire District and the Brewster Fire Department, I'm glad that you're able to join us today for the first of many ceremonies that we have in this hallowed and sacred ground. I'll bet you if I asked you what you were doing during September 11, 2001, each and every one of us here would know exactly where we were, what we were doing, almost what we were saying at the time when the planes crashed. When our country was attacked by cowards and by 3,000 people giving up their lives needlessly. I'll bet you can remember it was a day like this. A beautiful day. A day where birds were chirping, kids were laughing. And yet, it was a day that, in my opinion, the world stood still. It reminds me of a young girl at the time. Her name was Christine Lee Hansen. Now, I don't think anybody here knows who Christine Lee Hansen is. Christine Lee Hansen, at that time, was 2.5 years old. She was a bubbly young girl, a bright young child, the love of the life of the family and grandparents. Christine Lee Hansen wanted one thing in life, and that was to go to Disneyland. Christine Lee Hansen made the world around her a better place. You see, Christine Lee Hansen has a recognition that nobody would like to remember. She was 2.5 years old. She was the youngest person to get killed in a car crash, in the plane crash. She was a passenger with her mother and her father on Flight 175. She never got to live that dream. Many asked, her parents or grandparents, I'm sure, asked, what would she be doing now? She's 25 years old if she was alive today. Did she go, how was her kindergarten day? Did she graduate high school? Did she go on to college? Is she married? And if she is, does she have children that too would like to meet Mickey Mouse? We all respect the people that perished. And yes, the volunteers and the paid fire crews, the people who worked there logistically, the people who worked tirelessly who are the emergency medical services. And you know something? We will always remember them. And I hope to God that we never forget those dates. And it's because of that we at the Brewster Fire Department and the Fire District had labored to get this monument built and dedicated. It was in that memory that we had contacted the Port Authority back in October 15th of 2012 and asked them for a piece of steel, 9/11 steel. We got no reply. We kept asking, writing letters, until March, 3 years later, and we got a phone call saying, we have a piece of steel for your fire district. In October, it was given to us. We went down and picked up the piece of steel, a contingency of firefighters, escorted by veterans, escorted by people on motorcycles, and an entourage left Long Island with, ladies and gentlemen, the last piece of steel from the World Trade Center. We were honored enough to receive the last piece of steel. And if you take a good look at around us, the monument has so many meanings. Of course, the stones represent the World Trade Center. The steel, the way it is directed, is the planes going down, hitting the earth, or hitting the buildings, killing 3,000 people. and yet the monument stone underneath it that says in memory of the lives lost as a result of the 9/11 attack on the United States is shaped like the state of Pennsylvania, with the star being where Shanksville is on the map. I hope we never forget. As I said, this is the first time that we were able to have this ceremony here. And we in the fire service are so very proud to do that. We're grateful to each and every one of you to take time out of your day to be here. We're grateful that you haven't forgotten. And by God, we will hope that we will never forget, ever forget. So again, it is my profound blessing that and challenge that each and every one of us remember people like Christine Lee Hansen and others who lost their lives and will never be able to, ever be able to go and do the things that we have experienced in our lives so far. God bless you. God bless you for being here at the VFW. Thank you so much. God bless you guys. Thank you for your service. And again, ladies and gentlemen, let us always remember what this day means. Have a great day. Thank you.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, if we could just have a moment of silence until we bring us to the time of the attack. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, right now the time is 8:46 a.m. At precisely this moment, American Airlines Flight 11 slammed into the North Tower of the World Trade Center. Ladies and gentlemen, we remember.
Rifle detail. Attack. Move. Board arms. On one. Shoulder. Aim. Fire. Aim. Fire. Aim. Fire. Lock. Rifle detail. Present. Arms.
At this time, we're going to have the closing prayer and just some remarks. So please bow your heads. Dear Lord, thank you for allowing us to come together, to commemorate, to remember. As we go forth today, please let us do so with new meaning and new purpose, to put aside our petty political differences and work together for one cause, in our community and in our nation. Let September 11th be that beacon of hope, that beacon of strength, that beacon of unity, that in our great nation we will always stand united. Amen. Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, this is the conclusion of the event. I do want to, every year I make one remark on one topic, and this year it's on response time. Does anyone know what response time is? Response time is a citizen's call for service. Someone calls 911, the job goes out, emergency services, police and firefighters answer that call. That's response time. Does anyone know how long it took for the NYPD and the FDNY to respond to the World Trade Center? What the response time was for that job? 5 seconds. 5 seconds. The call for help went out over the air, NYPD and FDNY picked up the job in 5 seconds. What am I saying? I'm saying when the wolf was at the gate, it was police officers and firefighters who stood that wall. And for the last 20 years, it has been our great military who stood that wall in the 20-year war on terror. And based on what we're seeing here with the junior ROTC, our country looks like it's got a great future and looks secure. So I'm just going to leave you with this. For our police officers and our firefighters and our military who fought that war on terror, you may not be the greatest generation, but you're the greatest from this generation. Godspeed and safe home. Thank you for coming.